going to do is to use all of the powers of the federal government, including the emergency powers of the federal government, to accelerate the major projects that we need in order to build this economy and take on the Americans.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 5 Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. And before we get into today's discussion about Mark Carney, can you please like, comment, share the podcast, do anything you can, because it helps me get to monetization and helps me make a couple of extra bucks in communist Canada. Thanks, guys. Now let's get into it, because who is Mark Carney but a global elitist who wants to literally get into the position of prime minister without even being voted in? He also admits that he's going to use things like the Emergencies Act to save us from America, whatever that means. I find that over the last few years, when the politicians say the quiet part out loud, you need to listen to them. This is very disturbing, and it reminds me a lot of our, King Trudeau and her, I admire China's basic dictatorship, to be able to go green on a dime. It's essentially the exact same thing that Mark Carney is saying in that clip. Now, here's the thing, is that Trudeau said that, but we haven't gone green on a dime at all. We have not made any green initiatives, nothing. I don't even know where we're at with windmills or the production of them, because we used to have a production. My husband actually used to work at Siemens in Ontario, okay? Did my eye just glitch? Did you guys see that? And he built wind turbines, okay? And then Kathleen Wynne tried to score some brownie points and shut that down, despite knowing that the entire plan for the Liberals to be in was, to make green power. That's why we have tariffs on all of those things, right? To encourage business being here. Yeah, fucking right, okay? Because they put up so much red tape and charge so many taxes to these places that nobody wants to open up a business in Canada, okay? And guess what? All of the polluters that are already polluting and doing horrible shit to the environment, which I do think that we need to be and think about the environment. You don't want what happened in my town, where I live in a logging town, and this isn't funny. It's not funny. I'm like, how stupid were these people, the people making the factory, because they didn't put smokestacks in. So all of the smoke from the factory, which is poison, was going into the town, and people were dying at enormous rates, okay, from lung cancer. So those are the types of things that we need to think about. But places like Rouyn-Noranda, which is a northwestern Quebec city, the kids test for lead and like mercury and all of these things underneath their fingernails way more than other places do. And why? Because the soot, or whatever it's called, the smelter is grandfathered in and doesn't even have to change the things to make the air cleaner. Okay, it was cheaper for them to pay 250 residents to build new houses for them on the other side of town. So when I learned that Justin Trudeau is full of shit and that he actually wants Canada to fail, and he wants to do it in the disguise of going green, okay? Because when you look up things that are green, you think of lithium pits. Genuinely, the stuff that makes all of this green energy is so insanely bad for the environment. And I'm not sure how they justify it, but yeah, there's a lot more worse things that are disguised as green than even oil and gas is horrible for the environment. Quote, horrible for the environment. It's just when you do the comparison of what it looks like after you've drilled versus a lithium pit, it's insane, okay? And here's the thing, is that Canada really needs to drop this climate change ideology, okay? Like I said, we need to be thinking about the environment, not climate change. We can't be living every day like it's a fucking doomsday. We basically live under another religion where they use the excuse of us maybe dying tomorrow to literally implement things all the time that are not actually good for the environment whatsoever. Mark Carney is a Grinch, baby Grinch looking kid. Okay, he's already been kicking people out of his press conferences, but allowed someone from the CCP in. Okay, they've already caught the CCP meddling in Chrystia Freeland's campaign. Okay? And I've seen it myself. The amount of Mark Carney bots on my Pierre Poilievre, like my TikToks about Pierre Poilievre, is astronomically insane. And these bots are quite literally the most, like, the things that come out of their mouth is horrendous. Telling me to off myself, stuff like that. And this one guy on TikTok, he comes online, he's out of nowhere. The next day has 20,000 followers. Man, that does not happen to people. That does not happen to people, okay? Unless you have an account and it was banned and then you just have a bunch of followers that follow you to your new account, that's not happening. As soon as that guy said that the thing says I'm Mark Carney's son. I don't think he's actually Mark Carney's son, but he said, I gained 20,000 followers overnight, and this is why I want to vote for Mark Carney. All of a sudden, all of these creators on TikTok were coming out of nowhere and being like, we should be voting for Mark Carney this, Mark Carney that, Mark Carney this. I'm thinking to myself, once again, isn't this the DEI crowd? Shouldn't they be asking for literally anybody but a white privileged man who has literally been an economist and banker for global finance at the United Nations? Is that... You want someone who's that privileged? You would rather have someone like Mark Carney than Pierre Poilievre, who was adopted, who's married to an immigrant? You think that I honestly could not believe the hypocrisy that I was seeing. These people voting for Mark Carney out of nowhere. I'm like, why wouldn't you be voting for Chrystia Freeland? And at the time, the Indian-Canadian guy was in. I'm like, why wouldn't you be voting for him? Where's the diversity, equity, and inclusion? Exactly. It's just bullshit because you guys don't actually think like that. Basically, in my opinion, DEI has been used to literally funnel money, make us hate each other, and focus on so many wrong things that we've been ignoring the actual problems that are within these facilities, thus leading to the destruction of the social structure of Canada. And I'm literally not even kidding you. So if this man says that he's coming in to basically, he's actually being installed, because let's be honest, there's also notice that the Liberals candidate doesn't even have to be voted in. It's basically up to the Liberals ultimately. Oh my God. So basically they took a 3-month break to give the illusion that they're running this leadership race. While in the middle of the leadership race, we find out that one of the contestants has the CCP on his side and he's not automatically disqualified. Does that make any sense to you? My genuine opinion, and this is just an opinion, hypothesis, not trying to scare people, is that if Mark Carney gets in, Trump knows that if Mark Carney gets in, China is going to also come in, and then he's going to liberate Canada. The States loves liberating, loves spreading freedom. That's what, in my opinion, that's how we become the 51st state. I think if Pierre gets in, cleans up the border, cleans up the drugs, cleans up Canada overall, I genuinely think that Canada will still be Canada. I think the only way we become a 51st state is that if China comes a knocking and we say, what? And there's no way Trump's going to want China in his backyard. And if you happen to be liberal and watching this, I just want to ask you the question. If after 10 years of Pierre Poilievre and everywhere Pierre Poilievre goes, there are signs that say, "Fuck you, Pierre Poilievre," everywhere he goes, okay, because the whole country has become unrecognizable, would you not be so upset that they prorogued government for 3 months to choose someone else? Just wondering. Please put yourself in other Canadians' shoes and see the fascism for what it really is. Because installing the next prime minister without giving us an election is insane. Putting us through Trudeau's and the NDP's coalition, and we wouldn't be in this mess if it wasn't for Jagmeet Singh in the first place. Just remember that. So when Jagmeet Singh didn't agree to the non-confidence vote and made the NDP vote no, that was probably his last chance, because all of a sudden people are saying, let's vote Mark Carney, let's vote vote Mark Carney. And you would think that it would be Jagmeet Singh, but in my opinion, maybe people realize that the only reason that we're in this mess is because Jagmeet Singh and the NDPs have held Justin Trudeau in power. This coalition has been pretty clear right from the beginning that this has never been about the bettering of Canadians. And if Jagmeet Singh has had as much sway as he thinks he has to, override democracy, because that's what forming a coalition because when I did vote NDP, I voted NDP because I thought they were different than the Liberals, not because I thought they would team up with the Liberals, okay? And they have seen Jagmeet Singh and Justin Trudeau fail over and over again, make this country worse, and if they're, never conservatives, ABC, anything but conservatives, they're going to be voting for the fresh new face that they haven't seen screw people over. So I hope you know that, Jagmeet Singh, that if you had an inch of integrity, an inch of democracy, if you actually cared about the democracy of Canada and you actually cared about Canadian voices, you know that your numbers are low in the polls, and you know that people want to see a difference in leadership. So it's not up to you to save the dental care program that you think that Pierre Poilievre is going to axe. Okay, it's not up to you. It's up to you to represent Canadians and represent democracy. And because I know that I've personally sent him an email telling him that I will never be voting NDP again because he is not letting us have an election. And I'm just one millennial. I'm one millennial that runs their mouth, okay? There's plenty of them that will just stay quiet and vote conservative because they know that they're going to have a bunch of shit if they come out and say that they're voting conservative, okay? This is the most fascist dictator thing that I've ever seen, and I'm waiting to hold on to making a, what is it called? What do the kids call it? Crash out video to see if we get an election or not. I'm already crashing the fuck out. I already get stressed out about it because we've already lost so much of our democracy. They've already overridden so much of our freedoms that what's going to stop them from doing this again? I don't know. They don't listen to the rules any other fucking time, so why would they now? I understand the conservative voices on YouTube right now saying, everybody calm down, because I don't want to be one of those people who rile people up and stuff, so I completely get it. But people's trust of this government is so effing low that is why people are freaking out about this, because it's hard to grasp how much they've been able to do and not give a shit of how much they're affecting our lives while doing it. And, to me, it looks like the erosion of democracy has already happened. They are going to try to convince you that the erosion of democracy will happen if Pierre Poilievre gets in. Oh my God. It's just almost every single thing that a liberal says about a conservative, you can take that finger and point it right back at themselves. They can take that finger and point it right back at themselves. Because ironically, they're always the ones spreading mis and disinformation, and they're always like, oh, Pierre Poilievre is pro-life or anti-choice, because saying Pierre Poilievre is pro-life is probably a pro. You know what I mean? They can't say he's pro-life because it just sounds way better than what they are, but. Anyways, I digress. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Mark Carney's going to win? Do you think... I've also had this other prediction in my mind before I go, that they're trying to make Mark Carney look so good, and then they're going to tear him down last second and install Chrystia Freeland. I thought they were going to do that because that's what they did in America. So I genuinely did not think they were going to put another white man in there. That's why I had those thoughts about Chrystia Freeland. I was like, there's no way they're going to put another white man in there. They did. So anyways, guys, have a good one. And if you're from Southern Ontario, enjoy that Snowmageddon. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Have a good one. Also, before I go, yes, please, Ruby Dahlia for Liberal leader. Please. I would love to see her and Pierre go against each other. That would be the time of my life.